necessarily have a good definition for that either, but that's fine.
Okay, we are recording. So, greetings. I'm Paul Chase. That lovely young lady over there on my screen's left is Adair Whitmer, owner and operator of Ambiance by Adair. Greetings, Adair. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Paul?
Doing very well. Hey, Adair, a few years ago, we had a big trend called Feng Shui, and we were talking a little bit before this recording that you still incorporate some aspects of Feng Shui into your interior designs. What is Feng Shui?
I was just saying I don't really have what I think is a definition of Feng Shui, but I'll tell you how I use Feng Shui.
Okay, that's good.
Is that gonna work? That's gonna have to work.
Yeah, that'll work.
I don't have the formal definition, and I think you're right. I think that people used to like really get into it because it was a kind of a thing, and maybe a little defining difference for some designers. But I do believe in the principles of it, and it has to do with creating energy in a space, right?
I've got a space heater that creates energy in my space.
Yeah, that works. I could use some of that right now. I'm freezing. So there's a bunch of elements to Feng Shui, and each is used to create a certain kind of energy. But the 5 elements are metal, wood, fire, water, and earth. Those are like the main elements. So each one of those, you would use one of those elements in a room or several of those elements in a room to create some energy and some flow. And really, I think Feng Shui in and of itself is really about air. Like air is the most important element in Feng Shui design. So, and I really notice this when I go into people's homes. I don't know if you notice it, but I always notice that houses they're closed up. People don't open up their windows and doors very often, and it has a real certain smell to it, and not necessarily a good smell. You know, you can walk in a house and it's not like dog or cat necessarily, but it's sort of just stuffy and maybe old lady perfume. And I don't know. There's always a smell to every home, but there's nothing better than the smell of fresh air, right? So whenever I go to somebody's house, I give them tips and tricks to create flow, from furniture placement, opening up windows and doors. I tell every client, open up your windows and doors on the next best fresh air day, and it's warm enough to do that. Open up those windows and doors and just keep that airflow going. Adding plants and things like that can create really good energy and really good purifies air and that kind of thing. So it's those kinds of things. Furniture placement, adding elements to the room or colors that evoke an energy. That's a long-winded answer, isn't it, Paul? Sorry.
Okay, I'm a very visual person. So do you have any pictures that you can highlight some of this stuff for me?
Oh, I just happen to have a couple pictures. Now if I could figure out screen sharing. All right, ready? If I screw it up, let me know. All right, I'm going to show you a picture of a bedroom that I designed, and I really didn't know what I was going to say about this, so we're just going to wing this. But what you'll notice here is there's a couple things going on. There is reflective. I don't know if you can see the mirrored side tables, the bedside tables. Mm-hmm. That is the metal of the Feng Shui. There's wood. The base of the lamps have wood. There is earth. There are plants in the room, and blue sky colors and that kind of thing. So the reflective stuff is the water element, as well as the metal base is the metal. I think that's more appropriate. And then there's no red in this particular room, but you can't do it all, can you? But I also have very sheer curtains. They're enough for privacy, but they keep the air and the light coming into the room. A lot of people keep their blinds closed. There's no sunlight bursting into the room, and it's just deadly. So I like to put sheer curtains. Do you have any questions, Paul?
Well, I guess the sheer curtains work for a second floor bedroom. I'm not so sure it works for a bedroom on the first floor facing the street.
This is a first floor, and it is facing the street.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's hidden by the bushes then. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know in my neighborhood, I'd be really paranoid about people watching it. Anyway.
These are sheer with a pattern in them. They're pretty good. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'm noticing is the first thing I notice is the rug or the rug is not parallel to the walls. Very seldom
that's the thing I do.
Do you see any? It's just not something I've seen a lot of.
That's my little.
I'm not seeing a lot of people that have the guts to put a rug in, off square like that.
What's funny is I do that all the time, and why I generally do that is because it helps to bring your eye into the room. It actually is an element to create some movement. It's also a little something different, I like to do something a little different in each room, just a little bit of a surprise, something a little unexpected, and that's my little unexpected in this particular room. But that's a good question. Good that you brought that up.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell my wife that too. She's not buying it.
I have another room I can show you if you're done with this one. Okay, so this is just one more room, and I don't know what I'm going to say about it, of course. But let's just do some analyzing on this one. So I always have plants. I think plants are magic. I talked about this once before. Lamps, plants, pillows, and art are the only clutter I really believe in a room. And obviously little pieces of clay and little elements of decor is nice to add. But here we've got metal, a little bit of metal sculpture. We've got a little bit of reflection in the very dated fireplace. So that wasn't me. We have wood in the furniture. So that's cool. What am I missing?
Well, you got your red.
Yep, got my red. Thank you. Got my red for passion. Metal, a little bit of metal. Got the plants. I'm missing earth in this one. So you can't have it all.
Now, I got a question. One of the things that I notice is you've got the two vases on the mantle of the fireplace. Years and years and years ago, I did take a series of classes on home staging, and they always talked about the rule of three. So you've got the two vases on the right. Is that offset? Do we just violate and throw out the rule of three, or do you have that other little metal sculpture on the left? Is that your third of the element?
I really love your questions. Well, I can tell you, I totally am a rule breaker. I believe in rule breaking. All day and every day.
My kind of gal.
Yeah.
If there's a rule, we'll break it.
Yep. You'll notice, however, while I only have two of those clay pots, I do have three elements together. Just like the two vases at the bottom, at the base of the fireplace, there are three elements. There's a sagey plant, and then there's two vases that creating three. So I do stick to that rule in a way.
In a way, okay. Just curious, like I said, I am the last person in the world that needs to be talking about interior design. Either I walk into the room and it feels good, or I walk into the room and I say, what happened here?
Yeah.
So that's the extent of
it. I will tell you too, this was one thing I knew we were going to be talking, and the one thing I really, really believe in, houses are selling in a snap these days, but when the housing market is a little slower and you're looking at do I stage this empty house or do I not stage this empty house? The reason that staged houses perform better, in my opinion, is because everything that you put in that room has energy. I mean, there's actual molecules moving around, and it creates movement, and flow, and energy in a home to have it staged. So there's that. For whatever that's.
It creates ambiance.
And it creates
ambiance. So are we going to see this? do you think that we're going to see this trend continue, especially as people are staying indoors? Well, they're staying indoors more because it's getting cold outside. It's just that time of year. But also with everything going on with, you know, the COVID and the
Oh
quarantine and
man.
the isolation, is it more important now than, you know, say last year, that we start paying attention to the elements in our primary living spaces so that we can feel comfortable and calm and relaxed and, you know, all of that stuff? I mean, we're good, you know, we're in our house. It could be 2 or 3 days between time people actually leave their house.
Designers are very, very busy right now. Furniture stores are running out of inventory. Everybody is working on their homes. And I do think that when I get called to come out, people have nice homes, they have nice furniture, they just have really rotten flow. And I was at a house just the other day. I'm going to do some floor planning and we'll buy some furniture eventually. But I said, we need to move a couple pieces of furniture and adjust some lighting so I can demonstrate to you the difference between good flow and bad flow in a room. And we literally pulled a couple things together, and in the matter of 10 minutes, they were going, I get it. You know, people think that they have to shove in a big room. They feel like they have to shove the couch against the wall. Well, that's a no flow zone, isn't it? You know, don't be afraid to pull a couch off the wall, anchor it with a rug below it, and let that energy, let that flow, especially in a big room. You can get away with stuff like that. But people don't instinctively know. They know that they don't feel comfortable in the room. They don't know why. And often it is having to do with the energy and the flow. So I think there's something to it. I just don't think that maybe people are talking Feng Shui anymore. And maybe they should.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Here ended the lesson for today.
Hey, always look in the Lord, especially about stuff like interior design, because it's not my thing. I just know that I don't know much about interior design, but I do know the people who do. And as long as I know the right designers, I'm good. So
there's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah, but there's only one great one. So unfortunately, she's in my
God.
Fortunately, she's in my Rolodex. So, Adair, how do people contact you to learn more about getting the flow right in their living room and bedroom and around their whole house?
Such a good question. Well, I should have a slide prepared, but I don't. So they could call me or text me at 717-278-3900. Or they can email me at adair@ambiancebyadair.com. And it's ambiance spelled with an A-N-C-E, not an E-N-C.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll put a title slide on the end of this video. And yeah, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. You have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.